Right, so more enlargements today. So if you remember last lesson we were given the original shape and then we had to go and enlarge it whenever we were given the scale factor and the centre of enlargement. Today we're going to be doing the opposite of that. So we're going to be given the original shape, which would be called the object, the new shape, which would be called the image, and then we're being asked to find and really to describe the enlargement. So we spoke about this whenever we were describing rotations. Anytime you're describing any sort of transformation, you need to make sure you give full detail. So with enlargements, we need to make sure that we say the name of the transformation, which is enlargement. We need to make sure we give the centre of enlargement, and we also need to make sure that we give the scale factor. So we're going to look at an example of this stuff here now. Before we start, I'm going to draw on a set of axes on these because this is just squared paper, so we need to make sure that we have the axes drawn on, and I'll need you to do the same. Okay, so I've drawn on a set of axes and I need you to do the same. And I've also drawn over the four shapes that were here because the photocopy wasn't that clear. So I will need you to do the same for that as well. Okay, now to find the enlargement, the details that we need. So we need to give the centre of enlargement and we need to give the scale factor. All we need to do is join corresponding points up and see where they cross. Now by corresponding points I mean like the same point on each shape. So for part A here, like this point here would be corresponding to this point. It's the equivalent point. I probably should have been saying equivalent all along rather than corresponding. This one would be with this one with this one. Okay. Now normally our corners of our shape are labelled with letters. So I'm going to label them here just so that I have letters to refer to, and again I need you to do the same. So let's call this C, D, E and F, which means this one would be C dash, D dash, E dash and F dash. Okay, so all we do is join C to C dash and extend the line out, take up the full space. We join D to D dash and again extend the line. And these two have crossed here, so the rest of them should be crossing here, but we would do them just to check. E to E dash, yep, crossing at the same point, so we're looking good. And F to F dash, that line really is already on because it's the same one as the C one. So this is going to be our centre of enlargement. Okay, so COE, and the coordinates of this are 1, 10. So that's one bit of information that we need. We need to give the centre of enlargement. We also need to figure out the scale factor. Now we can use the table that we did in last lesson's work to figure that out. So I'm going to draw my table here. So we have point, we have centre of enlargement to the point, we have centre of enlargement to the new point, and then we have the new point. Now we only have to do this for one, so let's get our table drawn. So let's just take the point C for example. The new point would be C dash, and from the centre of enlargement to the point, this had gone down 2. From the centre of enlargement to the new point, so to C dash, from here to here, it's gone down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we can do is we can look at these numbers and see, right, well, what has this been multiplied by to give me this? And it's 3. So that means the scale factor must be 3, which means that the length of all the sides in this shape are 3 times the length of the sides in the original one. So I'm going to actually write my answers up here just because there's a bit of space. So my answer for A, remember, we need to list all three of these things. It's an enlargement with a scale factor of 3, and the centre of enlargement is 110. Okay, so let's do that same process now on part B. Okay, year 9, I went on and did part B there, but there's actually a mistake in the question. The shapes haven't been drawn right, so part B doesn't work. So we're going to just leave part B out. So hopefully that example A is enough for you to get the method. And remember, whenever you're doing this in your classwork, do the little, draw all the lines to see where they cross, and that gives you your centre of enlargement. And do the table to find what the scale factor is, and whenever you're listing your answer, to list those 3 things in your answer. So you need to say it's an enlargement, you need to say what the centre of enlargement is, and what the scale factor is. Okay, so let's get on with that work now.